Now the very last step that we need to do here is to extract these 4 images out and save them as individual files for this project. But one thing we haven't done yet is actually save this project. When we very first started this project, we started with this original image right here, okay, which has a number as the file name. If we go back into Bridge here, this is that file name. So basically it was a JPEG file, and we need to save this as a Photoshop document, okay, so that we can save all this layer information. When you guys save your files for me, they have to be saved as a Photoshop document. If you save them as a JPEG, then all of this layer information will be lost. It will compress the image into a single layer, and I won't be able to see what you did. In order for me to correct things, I need to see all of these layers, and if you want to work on anything in the future, you want the layers as well. So we're going to come up here and do a file, and we're going to do a save as. If I do a save right now, it will overwrite this JPEG file, and I'll lose layers. So I'm going to make sure that I come up here and do a file, save as, and I'm going to put this on my desktop, and I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop, and I'm going to call it assignment 1, create. And for this particular file name, I'm going to call this, and this is how I want you guys to name your files. So we're going to call this, let's see, it's going to be CAD 234 underscore your name. Okay, it can be like first initial last name, or your whole first name and your whole last name, but I need to know whose file it is, so I'm going to just put in my name underscore Nesbitt underscore ASGN1. Okay, so we need to have the name be the class number designation CAD 234, your name, and then the assignment that you're working on, so assignment 1. When I hit save, it'll ask me to do this format thing, which don't worry about, just hit OK, and it'll go ahead and save this off. You can see the percentage counting up, and if we go out and look at our hard drive here and go into our desktop, here's my folder, and here's my file that I just created. It's a PSD file, so I know that that's all set. You can see how big it is. It's 169 megabytes, and we're all set. Okay, so from this point forward, and we should have done this right at the very beginning, we should have started saving this right at the very beginning, because if you do end up losing power or anything like that, you're going to end up losing your file and all your work. So again, saving often is very important. Naming your file up front is one thing that we should have done. And now that we have it saved, I want to show you that layer comps can actually be saved as individual files as well. Because not everyone has Photoshop, so if you had to send these out as images to a client, anybody in the world that has a computer, an iPad or an iPhone or Android phone or anything, can view JPEG files. JPEG files are the de facto standard image format. So anybody can view JPEG images. So if they don't have Photoshop, they can still see the work that you've done. They just can't see your layer work. But you may want to send somebody these 4 files. I need your PSD file for grading purposes, and you need it for changes. But as far as this assignment's concerned, I want you guys to export these 4 images as JPEGs. It's a very simple thing to do. We're going to basically be in Photoshop. We're going to come up to File. I'm going to come down to scripts. Okay, and under scripts is basically a small little routine that will do several things all at the same time. In this case here, we want layer comps to files. So when I click on this, it's going to pull up a dialog box. It's going to ask me first off my destination, where I'm putting these things. So I'll click on Browse, and I'll go out to my desktop, go to Assignment 1, and say Open. So that sets up the path. Okay. The next thing is the file name prefix. Okay. So I'm going to leave this alone. That's the same name as we gave our PSD file. So every image will have this as its name, and it will be sequentially numbered after that. If you want, you can do selected layer comps, but we want all of our layer comps to come out, so I'm going to leave that unchecked. And the file type that we're exporting are going to be JPEG, so I'm going to click this down arrow and click on JPEG. And under quality, the highest quality for a JPEG is 12, so I'm going to just type in 12. Okay. If you type in a lower number, and the lower number was 8 by default, it just basically compresses the images more, and they're not as good in quality when you look at them. So 12 is the highest quality, and we'll leave it at 12. All you have to do at this point is hit Run. It'll go through and pull up each one of your layer comps, and you'll see Photoshop kind of going through its paces here, pulling up each one and doing its little spinny thing. When it's all done, it'll come up saying layer comps to files was successful. Click on OK, and let's double check it by going into Finder or Explorer, and we'll go to my desktop, go to Assignment 1, and lo and behold, here are all 4 files that we just created. Okay, so this is my comp in red, Castle Hill, Castle Fog, Castle Geese. Okay, and then the PSD file. So you're going to take all 5 of these files and save them to Dropbox for me, and that completes Assignment 1.